Hi everybody, PoopWitchX here. On today's episode of Coven Conversations, I am accompanied by my team Sidequest member, Faevyn, and I am so excited that you are here, Faye. I am so grateful. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask you what your pronouns are, what you feel comfortable with me saying.
Sure. So my name's Faevyn or Faye, and my pronouns are he, they. It's easy to remember because it rhymes.
I love that. So how are you doing today? I'm so excited to have you.
I'm doing pretty good. Today's been a whirlwind of a day. Otherwise, I've been playing a lot of video games because I have free time.
That's nice. What is the video game that you're doing right now?
It's been a mix between World of Warcraft, a little bit of Fortnite, and then kind of anything else on the side on the Switch.
Okay, so I tried WoW for like a second and I was like, what the heck? There's so much to learn. It's a very, and don't tell my husband, but I used to, before I ever played WoW, I used to make fun of him and I would say like League of Legends is the exact same as WoW. And then when I played them, I was like, wow, they are not the same. But don't tell him I said that because he used to argue, we used to have argue that. No.
I'm offended enough for him, so it's okay.
Sorry. But now it's like a running joke because before I ever played either one of them, I always just thought they sort of like look similar. And I was like, they're the same. They're not.
Yeah.
Do you like League or not really?
I've played League, but my favorite champion is very easy to combat, so I'm not I don't play it anymore. I haven't played in years.
Do you do WoW on stream?
Actually, that's something I am starting soon.
Okay, nice.
Coming this Thursday and Friday nights going forward, I am bringing WoW back as my quote-unquote primary game. And then I will have a Thursday variety night. So right now we're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the first time ever.
Are you Horde or Alliance?
So I primarily play Horde. You can't see it because it's not up right now, but Thursday night there will be a giant Horde flag behind me.
Oh, cute!
But I do have a couple of Alliance characters.
Oh, okay. So you're not one of those people who will only strictly do one or the other and will not.
No, I really like achievements. I like mount hunting, and it's really hard to do that with just to select one or two characters. I play retail. I'm not a big fan of going back to playing like Classic or Burning Crusade. So I just really dive in and go with the characters I have. I have 2 max level characters right now, but that's after taking a 3-month break, so I probably could have done a lot in that amount of time.
Wow. Wait, so did you say if you do retail or classic?
Yeah, I play retail.
Oh, okay, nice. What are the 2 characters you have maxed out?
Right now I'm playing a priest. I'm not sure if they're going to be holy or disciplined, but healer all the way. I think behind me somewhere there's a priest shirt that just came in the mail today. And then my second character is my demon hunter, and I have a lot of fun playing my demon hunter.
Wow. So you have to be, WoW is one of those games you have to be really invested for the long haul to. Do you feel that way about it, or can you play casually, more or less?
You can. So my plan is to play casually. I've actually been a guild leader, a raid leader, effectively like a mod for different guilds across the years. So I've in raid leading, I've raid led like normal raids. I've raid led heroic raids, and then I helped a friend with Mythic briefly. So I've done the casual hardcore, and I feel like for me personally and how I am as a streamer and how I am just personally, I guess, that if I was doing that, I wouldn't be able to focus on my community like I have with all the other cozy games. So I'm definitely going to be rolling with it casually right now.
Yeah, it's one because I feel like that's one of the other things about it is that you have to pay attention. You have to know what you're doing. It's hard to have your attention split. I mean, you can and you can't, but it definitely seems like one of those kind of games. I only played it once and I was like, holy smokes, this is confusing.
Yeah. It can be really overwhelming. They did go ahead and condense down a lot of, what happens with the game and, how you level and whatnot. So that's made a little pieces here and there easier. But I don't know. I have a pretty big mount collection right now. I've got some rare ones I'm very proud of, and nice. I'm just keep hunting.
Well, so I might sound like a complete noob right now, but what is the difference between retail and classic, and is one easier than the other?
So Imagine Classic as a time capsule of when the game first ever came out.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. So you are effectively playing the game the way it was intended to be played at the exact launch it happened.
Wow.
They've also expanded on that to include the next expansion as like a classic, the Burning Crusade. So now you're playing the Burning Crusade the way it was intended to be played when it launched, as it slowly launches. So you're kind of like re-experiencing everything as it hits over time, all over again. And for some people, the nostalgia factor is there, but I didn't start playing until Wrath of the Lich King. So don't have the same sort of nostalgia that a lot of people do. And because to me, it feels like, and this is just my personal feelings, I know a lot of people who are super into Classic, but I just, I don't know. I see it as more of a step backwards because you see a lot of things that are in the game now that weren't in the game then. And you kind of have to, decide what you like. And that's...
Do you have to play the Classic before? Like, would that help better understand it? Or they're really sort of essentially two separate extensions of the same tree kind of thing?
To me, I think they're two separate extensions of the same tree because so much is different then to now. But again, it's really dependent on the player. There are some people who look at the game and can only see grindcore and just going hard at the game. And there are some people who can do both and some people who are just casual.
Yeah.
And for me, I've done both. And going back to being, casual is very weird for me. I do very much have a grind mentality with the game, but I'm trying to like tone it back.
Right. So that you can, but also since you're so good at the game, I'm sure it comes easier to you to be able to separate your attention in a way. Also, you said that you like to hunt after the mounts. What is one of your favorite mounts? I don't know what any of this means.
That's okay. So mounts are effectively like animals or vehicles.
Okay.
And you ride on them through the game, and it's a way of like showing off or just playing or having fun with what you're riding around.
Oh, okay.
So my favorite, and if there are any WoW players in your chat, may get a little mad at this.
Of
how I achieved it. But I have a Swift Azulian Tiger. However, that mount is no longer in the game anymore.
Oh.
Except through the black market auction house, which means you have to buy it with in-game money. People will push them out for lots and lots of gold. But the thing that may upset other fellow WoW players is I only ever did the original dungeon once. I went in with friends the night before it was taken out, and I got it. The only time I ever did it right beforehand. Yeah.
Oh, oh no! You've upset the group. The Coven's a little upset, but that actually sounds like really cool. It seems like it was meant to be yours. You can't get mad at fate and destiny. Like you can't...
trust me, that was all the good luck I had because I've been hunting for some that I've seen like 1,200 people around me have.
Yeah.
And I can't get them for the life of me, and all I keep thinking is it's that stupid tiger's fault.
Honestly, when I started as a Hearthstone streamer, and this is how I relate to that. First pack I ever opened had a legendary card in it, and my husband was like, "Excuse me," and it was good. It was King Crush. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's like hunter like legendary.
Yep.
He flipped out, and I had no idea. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Lo and behold, as I became a hunter Hearthstone, I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, things like that happen, man. It's like they suck you in with that, So would you say Classic seems slower and more old school and retail is faster and more streamlined, or are they just sort of different? Oh, okay. That's
no, so yeah, retail is very much it's up to par with a lot most of gaming standards across the board for other MMOs, I feel. Whereas Classic was up to par for its time. It's been around for so long. It got catching up to do. But some people really love it. And I tried it for 14 seconds and just couldn't do it.
What are your thoughts on or if you have any, about the 2016 Warcraft movie based on WoW? Did you see that?
So I look at that the way that I really look at like book to movie adaptations, because we all know they're going to be some form of terrible. There's a scene that's going to be missing. There's a character that's going to say the wrong thing, or they're going to yell versus talk, or what have you. So I went into the movie theater thinking, like, I'm going to watch this as though I know nothing about World of Warcraft.
Right.
And I'm just going to enjoy it as a cinematic piece. And I think doing that was a bonus for me because I watched it again later on and I was like, oh my God, this is something. It could have been better. It could have been worse. I'm just glad it got some form of movie piece to it, but yeah.
I think it's kind of nice. Like, I mean, listen, you can, whenever a game becomes before the movie or vice versa, you're always going to kind of compare, like the Witcher series, Silent Hill, like things like that. But I think it's nice that you went in with an open mind and that, I bet you if I watched it and I have very, very limited knowledge, I'd think it's probably great. I'd be like, this is awesome. But yeah, the more knowledge you have, probably you're like, oh. But yeah, it's interesting because it seems like everybody in chat is saying that they have like 600 days, 700 days, 151 days. How many days do you have? Do you know how many days you have in the game?
Don't know off the
I'm like
top of my head.
Looking at these numbers that people are saying and I'm like, what the hell? Like, well, I know it's been around for like 20 years, but still that's a lot.
But so think of your streaming schedule and instead turn that into game time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because there are people who will raid that many number of hours, that many days a week, and then some.
Right.
And that's not taking into account all the farming that goes into the game, gathering the herbs, gathering the cloth, all the other materials, making, potions and flasks and meals, and making sure the enchants are all set, and making sure they know the fights, and just really everything that can happen for it. And again, I led a guild that did all of that, and we had to keep track of it all. So I mean, it's a secondary full-time job to some people. Some people, it is actually their full-time job and they make money doing it.
I think WoW also became like in society because of like episodes like South Park and things. It became very matriculated into society, whereas other games, like if you talk to someone who has no gaming knowledge, will have only heard of, even like my parents know what WoW is, which is shocking, but they do. So I think that when you have a game that's been around for that long, people do, like you said, they invest like their life. It's like a job. And I think I love that you also, like, even after all this time, that you guys are also passionate about it. It honestly makes me want to try it, although I can't think of a game that I probably would be worse at.
I will tell you, I just checked for everybody. This is a live number.
Number, guys.
My current main character has 147 days, and that is just a single character.
Oh my God. That's amazing. That's actually like amazing. And really, I think is a testament of your gaming ability, but also like your determination. I think that's amazing. Wait, which character was that you had the 141 days in?
That is my priest. That is actually the priest where Faevyn comes from.
No, wait, so that's where your name came from?
Kind of. That's a story. I'd be happy to tell you.
I want to hear it now.
By the way, my original main has 109 days played on it. And that's, again, only 2 characters, and I know another one is like 30 days. So
wow. It's a lot of work,
at like 300 or so.
I think it's and that's why, I'm not, for me, like, I think I like watching WoW streams. I love hearing about people talk about it, but I don't think I don't have it in me. I played Animal Crossing, which was so much less work and it was adorable. And I made it into like a mafia, and like Tom became Tom Crook, and there was like henchmen.
I remember that.
I mean, I swear it just unraveled. I don't know what damage I would do to WoW. I don't know.
I agree with another side quester of ours, and can say I've never seen Animal Crossing go so chaotic, but it looked like it was a lot of fun for you either way.
So much chaos. I mean, it was actually, I love that side quest. So many people, the reason why I even tried it is because a lot of you guys in the Sidequest team play Animal Crossing. So we were in Discord and you guys were like, do it. So I did it, and you guys, I took like a half an hour in the airport. So
yeah. I have 1,400 hours played, and I'm still working on my 4th island redo right now. That is Animal Crossing.
Can I ask you, like, gamers who game like that, like, how do you do it? Like, is it like you just love that like slow meticulousness of it, or like what is it, cathartic? I would love to know, because I watch you guys and I think it's amazing, but when I try it, I'm like, bleh! Like, I just can't do it.
So because I have ADHD and generalized anxiety, taking something like World of Warcraft, where I can look at a quest and I have focus and I go to do what's next, but I can still tear off to the side and go do a side quest, as it were. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But go ahead and go off and do a side quest and still come back to the main factor. Like in World of Warcraft, to me, that is a semblance of like keeping my brain single tracked in its own way.
Right.
If I'm doing Animal Crossing, I go ahead and I select a section of my island I'm going to work on, and then I start building around it. And again, it's in a world where, because of being gay, because of being non-binary, just who I am, and that the world, tends to not like me because of who I am.
I will punch the entire world.
I would put Icy Hot on your elbow after you were done.
Oh, I love you. You're so cute.
But because of the world the way that it is, games like that allow me a sense of control. So I get to control the world around me in a way. And while there's still going to be times where I accidentally die, or I'm not going to get the mount that I want. But at the end of it, I'm still doing what I want to do. In Animal Crossing, I am creating an island and crafting it in such a manner that's going to make me ultimately happy. But the moment I turn off that game and I walk out my front door, I don't have that control. So I think with like the big combination of all of that together, like it's just a really satisfying sense of control for me to be able to be like, oh, hey, this is mine, and you ain't touching it.
I love that. And I think that was pretty profound, and actually a really good testament just to how gaming helps people in real ways. So much of society still like frowns upon gaming, and they're like, oh, you sit around and play video games, like, or you're a streamer, like that's not, no, like these are ways for us to escape the harshness of our each and our of our realities, to have control. Like you said, that was a beautiful explanation, and I will still punch everyone in the face for you.
Well, I mean,
I absolutely would.
Think about the people who spend thousands of hours in Minecraft.
Right. Same
they
kind
have
of
thousands
idea,
of hours of building, but they're controlling the world around them.
Right.
And it's not the same for everybody, of course, because everybody's different. But there's just so many games where you end up having that kind of control, and you're just like, yeah, this is mine. Video games have been an escape for me for a really long time. I mean, I came out when I was 13 in school. So ninth grade, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
which is pretty young. I mean, like, I know, especially, do you mind me asking how old you are, Faye?
I am not sure. 31.
Yeah. So I'm going to be 30 this August. I'm joining the 30s club. So yeah, I mean, I feel like coming out now seems like, a little bit for this newer generation. It seems like a little bit easier, but for our generation and further and older generations, it was even harder. So yeah.
I was literally the only one in my school. The reason that a lot of the rules that are currently in place for kids in my old school are because of what happened to me.
Oh my God.
Because they had to put things in place to protect me, even though like it wasn't a law necessarily. There wasn't anything like necessarily against it. But at the same time, like my mom really, really pushed to ensure that I was protected at school when she found out that, it was more so verbal than anything. And my mom was like, kind of abuse, we're pushing for it. Yeah. So I endured that for all 4 years of that high school, because I was, again, the only one until I think it was after I left, when more and more people were like, we can't watch somebody be the only one again.
Yeah. And
there were less people who were closeted and more people who banded together. It was really great to find that out later on, because my brother and sister ended up going to the same school. And they would kind of tell me how things were, and I was like, wow, that's great.
So you set the precedent, and you paved the way for those after you to maybe make the road less volatile and painful. which is unfortunately a path you shouldn't have had to walk at all. But I'm
I'll
so
agree with
sorry
that. But
that
I mean, if it took the way that I see it, even though it should not have happened, like it shouldn't have been the thing that should have that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was me as one person. Mm-hmm. So it could have been every person after me, and they didn't have to put any rules in place.
Yeah.
So if it took me as one person to help however many that have come after me since, then I can take solace in knowing that I've helped that many people.
Oh, I'm glad.
And that's what makes that easier to kind of like wrap my head around.
Right. And also, I'm sure that it's sort of, I'm not saying it should like, because you shouldn't have had to go through and endure any amount of abuse, verbal, physical, anything. But at least it takes the pain and maybe like it will lessen the pain for others, and you can look at your pain and it can like heal in a way, but it should not have ever had to happen. So did you start playing video games at like 13, or was it even before that was your first experience?
Nope, I have been playing video games since I was a little kid. I had an Atari. It was my first ever system. I played Pitfall. It was my favorite game ever. My dad and I would play games. He was the one that got me into them. My mom and I used to battle, and not like, obviously you can't battle in Tetris. But like we would go back and forth and be like, oh, I'm gonna have the high score. You're gonna have the high score on the really clunky, like original Nintendo, the handheld.
Yeah.
So we would go back and forth and like, you know, that was mine and my mom's thing. My dad and I would play Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Game Boy.
I had Sega too. Did you have a Dreamcast? I had a Dreamcast.
My dad had a Dreamcast. I went the N64 route and kind of like stayed in that lane.
Yeah. Nice. So you mentioned your mom. It sounds like your mom was really supportive of you and was really like, what do you feel like that was an important person who helped you through that initial experience?
Yeah. My mom and my dad were, they separated when I was 7, so they weren't in the same house. My dad actually lived a couple hours away. But like having them to be able to lean on, there were some things that, you know, weren't done right, but that's because they were learning too.
Right.
And there were some things that were done absolutely wonderfully. And it really, really helped me understand a lot more about myself, even though I've learned more. Like this year I came out as non-binary. Yeah. I've kind of known for a really long time, but I didn't really like feel like attaching words to it. And then this year it just kind of stuck.
Right.
But yeah, they really did. They helped a lot. I think, you know, looking outside of like a family factor, the friends I met online saved me in so many instances.
Oh, nice.
Because I got to meet other people who were like me, who were not being, you know, verbally abused or tormented because of who they were effectively. And that gave me an outlook of like, okay, it's gonna be okay. If it can be okay somewhere else, I'll be okay.
Aww.
And it really helped to like push through a lot of what was happening around me. And, you know, my parents gave me access to that. My mom never like hyper monitored what I was doing. She made sure I knew how to be safe online.
Right. She trusted you. Right.
Yep. Like she taught me my mom taught me at a really young age how to create a convincing name. So
can we talk about, by the way, I still want to remember how you got your name now. Like, I don't think I forgot. Don't think I forgot.
Yeah, no, I won't. Okay. So my mom taught me how to like create a convincing name online. It didn't sound like I had just randomly put strings of words together and called it a name. And, you know, my mom kind of taught me online how to keep a consistent story when I was not like super young, but like 15, 16. And she just wanted to like keep me safe online.
Right.
And it's because of that I am where I am now. And that actually does tie into how I got my name, Faevyn.
Oh my God. We've come full circle. I need to know.
We have. So when I was younger, I used to do a lot of role playing. I loved writing. I do love writing. And so I did a lot of role playing under a character name of Malvinair, which was a vampire. Yes.
I love that
which
name.
was the name of a vampire.
Okay.
As most, 14, 15-year-olds
Yes.
online will
Heck
do.
yes, yes.
I was a vampire. Rar.
We grew up in the vampire era, man. It was everywhere.
Honestly,
oh
Anne
my
Rice.
God. Everywhere. It was like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Buffy
So
since I was
then-
7, so yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That too. Charmed.
You Charmed, all those good ones.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hidden
Interview
in
the
the Fields.
Vampire.
Oh yeah, all the It was Vampire Palooza for like our entire
Honestly.
our young generation. Yes.
And then when I saw the newer generations like getting like Twilight, for example, I was like, oh my gosh, the vampires are back.
Poor. I also felt bad because those were like the weakest I mean, like they was such a toxic relation. I was just like, please no. Okay, but continue.
I just want to know. I want to meet the editor. So anyways,
I want to hug the editor and say sorry that you had to endure all that. That was terrible. Oh my
just
God.
want to know why they didn't throw it out. So I read them to educationally complain about them. That's all I'm going to say. So I started off with Malvinair. I moved on to another character called Corvinair. We see a trend is happening.
Yes.
So I started playing World of Warcraft. And I needed a character name for my Death Knight. But I didn't want to steal the same name I've been using for the old vampire from forever ago. So I named the Death Knight Vinair, which is part of Corvinair. We're still trending, I see. Well, when I wanted to keep the account as my own, I needed a character to have that was higher level than the Death Knight or same level, whatever. So I wanted to make a priest. But I was like, okay, so Vinair is a very, like, dark, mysterious, like, vampire name, kind of. So I was like, okay, I need to go on the flip side of that and make it, like, light and happy and priesty. So I went from Vinair to Faevyn, keeping the Vin instead of keeping the Vinair, and just went along with it. So, like, Vin, the VYN part has existed for a very long time.
Where did you come with the initial name though? Like that's such a unique name. Like how did this even transpire that you got the how'd you say the first name? Malavinair?
Malvinair.
Like that's a friggin' bitchin' name.
Until you really look at it, there's a little bit of a meme that the fanfiction, if anybody in here is from the age-old vampire fanfiction community. So back in the day, the communities, when they were writing fanfiction, started spelling vampire with a Y.
Yes.
There is a very long, convoluted reason for that, but so I, knowing that Malvinair was a vampire, spelled it M-A-L, so Mal, bad, evil,
Yeah.
V-Y for the vampire. I blended it together. Yep, and then I added the A-I-R-E, like air, flying in the air, and the E was to be fancy.
What a clever...
It's literally where it all comes from.
How old were you when you came up with this name?
14, 15.
Oh my God, I don't think I've ever had that much creativity.
We're talking like
ever.
Yahoo chat room days.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. That's where all the best ideas stem from. Come on, man. Oh my gosh. So that is actually really cool. So then over time, was this, okay, so first of all, in the timeline, when did you start streaming? Like when was your first stream?
First official stream where I was taking it seriously?
Well, no, the first time I ever maybe dabbled and then when you started taking it more seriously.
So my first actual taking it seriously stream was January of last year. I want to say 17th.
Okay.
And then where I dabbled was in like a couple of years prior. I would like stream a WoW raid here and there, more or less so I could watch it back. And then I noticed there were people who would like chat in my chat. And I was like, oh, hello, how we doing? But I really didn't do anything with it. I was just live for the sake of being like, oh, I tried streaming. I'm not a streamer though. And then last year, I think it was like December-ish, I had gotten a Switch, I had gotten Pokemon Sword, and I was spending hours playing that game. And I was like, why am I not sharing this with other people? Like, I'm just sitting here in super, like, I'm all alone in my room, got my Switch. Why am I not doing something with this? So I was like, I'm gonna see how, gaming with friends does. So I was a Pokemon Shiny Hunter, was my first streaming. And we did that, I kid you not, months and months and months, where all I would do for 3 hours or 4 hours or however long we went on stream was just shiny hunting.
Wow.
So all it was me in chat talking to people as I rode back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Hatching eggs.
Honestly, what's interesting also is just about hearing your story is that, like, in a way, you have always had this, like, affinity for gaming. It was always part of your life growing up, and you used it as a way to maybe like escape, if you will, but like in a healthy way, and in a way that you can have control and have, and maybe even like work through emotions through that character. Then now you're a streamer, and now you're utilizing all of that to like help people too, and to spread awareness, and to do charities, and be an amazing teammate. So it's honestly amazing how every facet of your life it's been a part of that, but also it's like now you're giving back again, like from how you said when you left your high school and all the people after you that didn't have to endure what you went through. Now you're doing that on this platform as well, which is like so commendable and amazing. And I love that your first game was first official streaming was like Pokemon, and you were just running around. Like, I love that. But it's also like cozy and cathartic and fun and lighthearted, so which is great. And so you said that you started when you were young, and then did you go to college?
Briefly, I gave it a good college try. Well, that's a really terrible pun, but I did. I went to school for culinary. I realized that, or I felt like I have too much personality to bump elbows with someone in the kitchen, and I also much preferred to write than I did to cook. So, I mean, I still have all the skills I learned. I am a pretty darn good cook, if I do say so myself.
Oh my damn! Now I'm curious. I got to eat your food.
I will definitely send you some pictures of some really great stuff that I've made.
Oh, that's awesome! So you initially wanted to be like a chef?
I thought I did. Sure did. And then I dropped out, came back home. I was like, okay, I want to try to do something with writing. So I wanted to become an English teacher. I don't know how I got from one to the other, but I was like, sure, that's the same thing. So started going to school for teaching, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't what I want to do. And sure, I could go get like a degree in writing, but that doesn't mean I'm going to write what I want to do.
Right.
So I gave up on the idea of college, and I've just been kind of, working my own thing, or working and doing my own things along the way, and earning life skills, and see where it takes me.
Honestly, I think that that's really important, just to denote to anyone who's like on the, we're an 18 plus stream, but anyone who's on the younger side, or even like 20s or 30s, like you can change, you can pivot, you can try different things. So much of us, we're supposed to figure out everything we want to do the minute we step foot into college. And like a lot of us don't even end up doing what our degree was in, and we just end up like being like, oh, okay, well, I did that, and now I'm doing something completely different. So Faye and Anna were separated at birth, very similar story arcs here, but so what are you doing now? Like I know streaming is not your full-time job right now, right?
No, so I actually just left my full-time job today.
Oh wait, actually, I think I saw you tweeted that today, right? Oh my god, why my brain has been scrambled. Why did I think that was like 2 days ago? But seriously, you just left today,
time
right?
Is irrelevant.
Time is absolutely irrelevant. Oh my god, or is this a congratulations moment? Are we happy?
Bittersweet.
Okay.
But moving into a better opportunities.
Right. And I mean, I think that sometimes like I am sort of one of those people who I feel like things are supposed to be how they're supposed to be. And like, and I feel like when one thing drops, it will propel you to another thing that is probably more likely what you need to do. So you said you write. Was that part of your past job? Like, were you writing for that job, or are you pursuing that now?
No. So I worked in customer service in between an associate and a manager without being someone's assistant effectively.
Got it.
And it was call center work. I've done call center work for years, almost 10, actually. Okay. And I've been, everything from an associate to a manager and in between.
Nice.
So I didn't really put my writing into play there. Like communication skills because of writing, yes. You know, a lot of people would come to me and be like, "Hey, does my email sound right? Can you proofread this for me?" So like I do a little bit of that, but it was more like tone and intent.
Yeah.
Whereas outside of that, I actually have already written the first draft of my novel, and I'm working on the second draft.
Oh my God,
slowly but surely.
congratulations. Okay, so can just general what is, because I don't want any spoilers because I'm gonna read it when you're done. But like, what is your style writing? Is it fantasy, fiction?
It's high
mystery?
fantasy.
High fantasy. Okay. Is
So
it like
think Tolkien, but toned down a little bit.
Okay. Is it
Like I don't do
more-
14 pages of describing one object.
That is appreciated, I think. I really think it is. I think so.
But yeah, it is. It's high fantasy. It's portal fantasy, but you don't learn about the portal fantasy immediately. If I had to describe it, I would say that it is a mishmash of the classes available to D&D with my own that are available. So there are a lot of magic involved. And then on top of that, thing of the Golden Compass.
Ooh.
And how your spirits are outside of your body as an animal that exists in this book. And
That's pretty cool. Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. I'm still learning some of the moving pieces because I was like, oh, this doesn't really make sense. And then the characters in the back of my head going, well, yeah, because you missed this the first time. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we'll use that now.
Okay, also, do you or have you or are you interested in Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, I've been part of in a campaign right now with a few friends. I did a short one-shot campaign with friends as well. I am looking into the possibility of DMing a session or a few, just because a friend of mine who is a DM, who actually is my DM, they run two groups, and I have helped them write some of the pieces for their other group, so I'm not like spoiling for my group.
Right.
And they've come back to me with feedback and they said, oh my gosh, it's really fun. It's really like they've enjoyed it, or it worked out, or we just bounce ideas off of each other. So yeah, I finally got into D&D this year and I'm so excited.
Okay, because we have a couple people in the Coven who are freaking out. You know, we do D&D in here, the Coven Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
And we do it a little differently. I don't know if you've seen this, but we came up with an idea that basically we have four. I'm so sorry that Mountain has been furiously barking, by the way.
I only just heard for the first time now, so you're fine.
I'm not even kidding. I have no idea what he's actually standing right at my door, like barking.
He probably
has never
has a
done
question
this before.
for me and just doesn't know how to ask it.
I think he wants to tell you that he loves you. Please, I'm texting my husband, get Mountain. I don't know what the heck. It's not party time, Mountain. But yeah, no, so Mountain is very excited about this. He wants to play D&D too. You're
going to bring Mountain to meet me, right?
I'm going to bring Mountain to meet you. If you like a giant sized dog that looks like a bear, you will like Mountain.
You may not get Mountain back, but yeah, absolutely. Bring him on over.
Oh, yeah. Well, then take Slate, please. No, I'm just kidding. Slate's my Great Dane. Just don't worry about
wow.
it. I have a Great Dane, a Newfoundland, and a Golden Retriever because I've somehow decided that I need to have a pack of wild mastodons living in my house. But
apparently, and then there's me, and I have a bearded dragon.
Oh, I love it. Oh my God, Mountain would love. He would just sit there and like stare and like sniff. What's your bearded dragon's name?
So his name is Kronos. This ties back to World of Warcraft again.
Yes, it does.
So I did drag for a number of years, but I wanted to name my beardy something like royal.
Yes.
But he couldn't be a king because I was a queen. Obviously.
I love that. Obviously.
So I looked around at the dragons in World of Warcraft and I found Anachronos, who is the prince of the bronze dragons, or the dragons of time. So we call him Kronos, but he is technically Prince Anachronos.
Okay, I just want to say, I need you to name everything in my life from now on. Like, everything you've ever named is so witty and has so much thought to it. And you could really tell that you're such a writer. And I think you, Mr. Rickman, and Anna need to, like, all get in a room together and, like, you will literally birth something so magical, because you're so creative and you have a very like keen eye for things, and I love that. I think that that's so cool, and I'm so jealous. Also, side note, if you ever wanted to do participate in one of our D&D campaigns, we actually rotate players. So we have the same four characters in the same universe, but the driver of each character changes from week to week, so that like so you're always kind of like engaged, because like let's say you played the rogue last week, you're gonna want to know what the person next week is gonna do with that rogue. You're like invested, but also the story arcs don't become stale because the person's gonna choose totally different.
Oh yeah.
You know, like from what I mean, I'll listen to someone else playing the character I created and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do that, but you like can't say that. You just let them play it out how they want. But so I would, if you're ever interested.
One of my D&D characters, I got to create a fairy druid.
Ooh.
And I had like this, it was for the one shot, but I wanted to make an elaborate story because I didn't really connect with my first D&D character like I wanted to.
Right.
So what ended up happening is for my second character, I needed something. Like I needed to know how they were. So I made them a non-binary fairy, as I am. And what I ended up doing is that, so they were one of the top healers in their area. They built their way up to being that. So most anybody would come to them with any ailment that they ever had. But the problem was that they were so good, and so were the other healers in the area. They were all so good at what they did that suddenly there wasn't anything to heal. And they kind of depended on the money from that to live a semi-lavish lifestyle, and all they wanted to do was just continue living that lifestyle. So what they would do in the dark of the night, with their disguises and their lockpicking kit, is they would sneak into houses and cause ailments. But they were smart. They didn't just cause people to get sick that only they could be cured by. They wanted to make sure that everybody had some form of the wealth being shared. So they would, poison one person, cause one person to have the hives, or, cause someone to sprout leaves for no reason that they could fix. So what would end up happening is the people started to get sick again and go back to the healers, and then it just became this rotating thing where during the day they're this lovely, fantabulous healer that everybody had to go to, but then during the night they were sneaking around, causing havoc and making it so that the healers were able to make a living.
Oh my god. Like, that is so... What a good... story. Also, before I forget, because I will. So you did drag, right? For how long did you do drag for?
So I started into what year? 2014.
Oh, okay. Do you still do it now?
Here and there, but I haven't done it as seriously as then.
I need to know, did you have a drag persona name? And if so, I need to know the name, because I can only imagine how fabulous this name must have been. Please.
So not PG-13.
Oh no, I am an 18 plus, so you can curse, say whatever the fuck you want.
That's just my forewarning.
We are being forewarned. I need to hear, and I need to know how you came to this story, the name, like right now.
Oh, that'll be fun. So her name was Anya.
Okay.
Anya Knees.
I love it. Okay. I love it so much. I'm going to name my firstborn that. Okay. Oh
perfect.
God. Okay.
You can go with Anastasia and nobody will know the difference. So Anastasia is my favorite movie. And I can now say it's a Disney movie because they acquired them finally.
Yay.
So she is a Disney princess. Everybody who told me I was wrong all these years can suck it.
You've been vindicated.
Absolutely. So... I'll put it in chat so that everybody knows how it's spelled. It was very, very apparent what I was going with when I spelled it that way. But in the movie,
wait, you just spelled it straight up. You didn't even. Okay, so like Anna, people were trying to like spell it like fun, and you were like, no, it's just Anya Knees. Did you say it was Anya, right? Not.
Yep, Anya.
Anya. Like no, didn't even try to hide it. I appreciate it.
There was some, like, because when I introduced myself to people, because there were always, like, the straight men who would hang outside the bar and be like, my girlfriend brought me to this drag show. I don't know why I'm here. And they'd see me and they'd be like, oh, who are you?
Persona. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, my name's Anya. Anya Knees. And then they'd, like, laugh a little bit and they'd be like, ah, that's such a good name. And I'm like, well, No. Tip me and find out. Walk inside and they just sit there dumbfounded. Like, that's just how I
You
roll.
blew their mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
But so in the movie, when Anastasia goes to like walk away from Dimitri, and then he's like, wait, Anya, I happened to be drinking on the phone with my drag mother at the time. And I was like, I want that as my first name. And in my drag family, most of the names are puns or references. So she was like, okay, well, we have to make Anya funny. And I was like, okay. So we like bounced back and forth like a whole bunch of ideas and thoughts. And then I just like randomly spit out Anyanese. And she was like, okay, hold on. So she Googled it and she was like, there's one girl that I can find on Google with that name. And they're in Canada and they do modeling. I think you'll be okay. And I was like, great.
That's actually really interesting. I didn't know, like, I don't know the intricacies of how like drag and drag families and a drag mother, but also I didn't know, do you have to like register your name?
It depends on if you turn it into a business, then you can get it, your name registered as like a business name, and then you can get like, debit cards, credit cards, etc. in the additional name. Like, for streamers can also do that if they have like business credit cards and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's another way to protect it. But I think the only thing I did that was fancy with her was I learned her signature.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, so like what, so you, first of all, also I'd like to say, if you haven't seen Faye's makeup, when you do makeup, I like was stalking your Instagram. I was like, God damn, teach me.
So you haven't seen my old Instagram.
I want to see it because I can barely put eyeliner on, and I'm like in awe of your makeup skills. And I hope it's okay. I chose a picture for today with your makeup on because I was like,
I was like, where did you find that photo?
I loved it so much. I was literally stalking your Instagram today. I was like, oh my God.
I saw you followed me, so I was like, okay, I'll follow back.
Yeah.
And then I saw the picture pop up, and I was like, that's gotta be where it's coming from. It's gotta be.
It was like 7 scrolls deep.
Oh yeah, of course.
I loved it. I love it though, because I think that people who do makeup are like sorcerers. I cannot at all.
So this coming Friday, when I do my first WoW stream.
Shut up. I'm showing this one.
I will be doing I'm sending you drag photos on the site.
Oh my God. Hold on a second. Hold the front door. Hold on. Guys, okay, it's gonna be like super tiny, but you will understand what I am showing you in a second. Look at that. Beautiful. First of all, also, like, how did you do your lip like that? Like, I'm literally trying to learn from these pictures.
Oh, wait until you see the zebra.
Oh my friggin' poop. Oh, the blue, everything. This is so, how do you do that? I am like flabbergasted. Like, how do you, I wear chapstick.
So zoom a little bit on the lip, just to get like a little more of the detail. I can't get too much
in. I can't, unfortunately, my camera, it like doesn't, that is like amazing. And also like this look right here, like stop. How do you do that? Like how?
So I'll start with the red and black one.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I still have it.
So we go back to that one.
Oh, heck yes.
So that one is a black lipstick. I then take, excuse me, I'm sorry.
You're good.
I think that one pink or red? That one is pink. So I took a pink eyeshadow and I started on the inside more so of the lip, and I blended, like I would slow blend it out. Oh. So that way it created that ombre that you see on the lip, where it's more pink here, and then it gets, out that it's, it looks like it's black lined, but it's not.
That is so tricky. I would have never thought. Wow.
How
does it fall out? Like, does it have fallout because it's a powder, or does it stick because you're putting it on the lipstick?
Well, so I will, sometimes I will do it while the lipstick is wet, depending on the look I'm going for. But I don't use traditional setting spray, and I know that this is probably why my face is breaking out in my 30s. But I would use Aquanet hairspray to set my makeup. Oh
my good. You went full hardcore. That would set concrete.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So
and
if you look at the blue one.
Amazing.
So that is, again, a black lipstick. What I then did is I covered the entire thing with a metallic blue that I had. I think it was like the last of it too.
Oh my
So I would take the metallic blue and I covered the entire lip in it, and then I would blend it almost out to the very edge so it does again look black lined.
It looks so pretty.
Yep. And then I took a silver and I did the on the lip highlights.
Wow.
So that's where you can see the brightness there.
It's like a work of
and then there are
art.
some dabs of purple.
Wow. How long does it take when you do like the full drag makeup? Like how long does it take you to do it?
It depends. So if I'm going for like that zebra look, in the last photo I sent you, which I mean technically it's the last like 3 photos.
Yeah, it looks so amazing.
That will take me 2.5 to 3 hours depending on the day.
Wow. Okay, I am not even kidding, Faye. I think the longest I've ever done my makeup is like 15 minutes. Like I need a full makeup lesson. Immediately. No, but it's so beautiful. Honestly, I think it's like, it's seriously like, it's art. To me, like, I feel like when you look at all of, like, when any makeup artist can do it, but like, especially I feel like because, you know, drag show performers or like it's a work of art, and it's a extension of that person, that woman, that character. It's honestly amazing. I cannot fathom doing that.
But yeah, so the rainbow one, to tell you why that one takes longer, is a black lipstick base, liquid lipstick. It is then dried, and then I go ahead and I take a very, very thin brush and I dip it in a liquid white lipstick and I trace the lines. And then right as it's almost done drying, I will take the eyeshadows and go over each spot so I can get the rainbow effect with different vibrant eyeshadows that I have. And then of course I'll go up into the eyes and match where the half and half meets. If you notice, like at the center of the lip, it splits like into 3 and 3 colors. So it's a whole like making sure things are done.
Very tricky. And honestly, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing the pictures, because it's like,
of course,
really is beautiful. When was the last time you did like that level of makeup? Was it, have you done it recently? Is it like, what I'm asking, is it like riding a bike? Can you do it again? Like, can you do it anytime
I could technically, not gonna, but I could technically go like shave down to bare face and do it right now.
Wow.
With no problem. It's just kind of ingrained at this point.
Yeah.
The last time I actually did full drag was last year. I brought her onto stream, and I believe we did do it for Pride.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
And then I did like a really long photo op afterwards with like pride flags. So I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna do this again.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun taking photos afterwards, and then
that's so much fun.
Yeah.
How because I know that we have another community member, Lucille, who performs in drag. How was your experience? Because I think that's one of the unfortunate pitfalls that Twitch still has, is that unfortunately it seems like when I read about Lucille's experience, that was it okay when you
this was really early in like Twitch for me, like within my first 6 months, so I didn't have like a consistent mod team like I do now. So I was doing a live lip sync because somebody had donated, and I would let them like pick a song, you know, the things you weren't supposed to do. And then I would lip sync to it live, and we would just have fun with it and go handsy and just have whatever. But I did have a couple gross people pop into the chat with some really nasty comments. And I had to like, in the middle of lip syncing, without ruining the moment, like lean forward and click the ban button. While I'm already like halfway through doing something.
And it kind of deflates in that you feel like you can't help it, even if, especially because you were so early on in your streaming career too. Like,
and the only reason like I did that really long photo shoot afterwards is like, I'm going to enjoy this space while I still have it.
I love that.
And I'm not letting, you know, someone damper how I feel.
And I think that's really important, is like, especially for newer streamers, because when I first started streaming as well, like, and you don't have that consistent mod team and you get one troll, it doesn't matter if it's one or if it's like 20, it can be like so overwhelming, and you have to like pivot in that moment to like protect yourself, protect your community. And it sucks that was something. And I think that that's something that Twitch is still working towards, and hopefully it will continue to improve. And I can't believe you've only been streaming full time, like for, consistently, and like making it a part of your like life for a year. That's amazing.
Year and a half now. Yep.
That is amazing. That is a lot. You've done a lot in that time. And has your community always been charity oriented, or was that something that was more recent?
So it started, I've always done certain things for charity, whether it's only being able to monetarily donate due to physically being unable to do X, Y, or Z, and then just kind of taking it from there. Yeah. So last year, I was going to do my first fundraiser, and it was going to be for the Trevor Project. Mm-hmm. But then the Black Lives Matter stuff really kicked off at the end of May. It was, George Floyd and et cetera, et cetera. So I made a literally last minute decision, like a couple hours before my stream. Or it could have been the night before. Time's irrelevant, but either way, it was still a last minute decision where I just went ahead and I said, I'm going to go ahead and put a pause on the Trevor Project. I know we want to do that as our first fundraiser, but this is important. So we ended up raising money for the Minnesota Freedom Fund as our first ever charity stream. We then went on to do the Trevor Project. That was the first time that we blew past so many goals. We ended up hitting over $1,000, and this is like me being a 6-month-old baby streamer. And the community banded together and really pushed for it. We talked about a lot of mental health stuff, a lot of the good that Trevor Project does. And then I think that really pushed me to like making it happen on Twitch for me. We've done so many charities since then. It's been a variety of charities. And, being part of Team Sidequest's, first group has been an absolute, like, mind-blowing experience, and seeing all those who have come afterwards as well. This team has done amazing things, and I, even if I am a drop in the ocean, that is a drop more than the ocean had to begin with, and that's what matters.
Right.
And it really, really hits home for me. Most of the charities that I've raised funds for mean something to me somewhere.
Right.
We last year got approached by the Starlight Foundation to raise funds for them in September, which is my birthday month. So I was like, well, you know what? Whatever. I have a birthday every year. I can, we can do it this way.
Yeah.
So we ended up celebrating with them, and we had such a good time. We did the most bonkers thing. What I would do is every $50 we hit, I would change the game that I was streaming.
Oh, wow.
So I gave my fiance had editor control. Every game I switched, he switched the game. And we rolled through. So I think there was one point where I was behind because I had gone in to go do something and I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this was a mistake, but like, hold tight. So then I would play like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
How did your computer handle that? Like, my computer takes 10 minutes just to open something. I'm like,
that's probably the reason my computer died shortly after.
I think it might have been, honestly.
But I literally have like a week blocked out at the is in October, I think, or in September, one of the two. My computer did actually get fried at one point.
Yeah,
I almost got electrocuted by my computer.
Oh my god! You know what's crazy? I was for years electrocuted by my earbuds. I'm telling you, people don't think you can get electrocuted by this stuff. You can. It can happen.
So the thing is I had my headset plugged in. Not this one. It was my other one. I had it plugged in to the computer. I was playing a game or something, and I heard a pop, and the computer went off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Before the pop had happened, I had just switched to my speakers because my headset was tiring the sides of my head, and I was starting to get a headache. So the computer just goes pop and shuts off, and I was like, oh dear, that's not good. So I waited, turned it back on, nothing. I was like, great.
Oh my god.
So then we drove an hour and 45 minutes to the nearest Best Buy that had a power supply, had it ready for pickup, brought it home, plugged it in, nothing. Had my roommate look at it, nothing. And I'm like, I fried my motherboard.
Oh my.
Well, then I start to actually look at the pieces because I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm taking this apart at this point. I'm building a new computer. And I don't know how long that's going to take. And this thing is toast. I go to open it up and the charger cord for my headset literally like fried and warped.
Oh my god! Not the headset you're wearing right now, right?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say we have the same headset. We're headset buddies, so don't scare me like that.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Logitech has not done me wrong.
Logitech is great. Okay, good. Thank the goodness.
But
okay.
had I been wearing that headset, I could very well have been electrocuted.
Holy moly, that is like so scary. Yeah, technology bites back, man. Wow. Oh my gosh. And so
but now I have
you have a new computer, I hope.
Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful
I have a
new computer.
little beastie. It's the first computer I've ever built. It's got a couple of things that are absolutely wrong with it. But that's my own fault, and I know better next time.
I think that people who can build computers are a thing of their own. I mean, my husband built my computer and I have no idea. Yeah.
I'm never doing it again.
But
it was a good experience. I would help my mom when I was younger, like build computers. Yeah. And I hadn't done it again. So I was like, I would rather buy the parts, get it in and just do it myself. Because I figured, good experience. And I can be like, I built this. And that's something I've always wanted to do.
Exactly.
And it's a really pretty glass case. And it just like, I look at it and I'm like, you did that. I'm never doing it again, but I sure did that.
But it's mine, and I love it. It's my baby. Also, I just want to make a comment that like doing drag for your charity event is like the coolest thing ever, and that Phoenix Blade was saying that a live drag at of D&D at PAX event in Australia called Dungeons and Drag Queens. How
that
cool
sounds
is
like
that?
So much fun.
Like combining D&D and drag must be the most epic and cool idea ever. And so I just wanted to make sure maybe, in the future, if you ever want to do D&D on stream and you want to do drag at the same time, it's a very good idea. But yeah, that's very stressful. And I'm glad that your PC is beautiful and it's exactly your baby. I will never build one. My husband built my computer and I have no idea how it does anything. I don't know how I barely can open Discord without wanting to throw my phone across the room. So like I am the least technologically savvy person ever, but it's always so incredible when you hear people who are like, yeah, I just like casually built this and I like almost got electrocuted, no big deal.
Oh, no, I mean, this computer was not easy because like working around the glass panel, I also like, I'll never show anybody the inside of it because everyone's like, cable management and make it pretty. I'm like, no, nobody's seeing it but me. And guess what? As far as you're aware, it's pretty. It's not, but as far as you're aware, it's pretty. Yeah. But I end up getting this case and it was the first like predominantly because most people you either have like the black setup, the pink setup, the white setup, or something. Well, all of my stuff had been like was black setup. Well, I got the white case. Recently, I got the white headset.
I
also have the white mouse.
That was me. No, I went from black and I slowly transitioned. Now everything I own, including my desk, everything but my chair, because this chair is actually really comfortable, but everything is white. I'm telling you, once you make that transition to white.
You can't see it. I'm trying to lean to show. There it is.
Yeah, I see.
So I have the Secret Labs KDA chair.
Yeah.
So it's got like the reflective, like hollow rainbow on the back. So I do actually have white in my chair now.
I think it's addictive that way.
I will not replace the keyboard to get like a white keyboard. I love my keyboard far too much.
What kind is it?
It is a. Had to ask.
Mine is
it's
so
dirty. G915.
Okay. I don't even know.
Shout out to Logitech.
Logitech. We love Logitech. How do you like your headset, by the way? Do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. That also shout out to Logitech. I just was on there. I was streaming on Logitech stream for Pride this year. So I got their Pride mouse, which was really cool.
Which is so amazing, by the way. Congratulations for that partnership. That was awesome.
It was phenomenal. Like you can kind of see, where is it? Right there. That water bottle right above my head.
Yeah.
That was part of the Pride package from them. I also got a t-shirt and the mouse, of course.
Nice.
And the mouse is just so cute. And I streamed Stardew Valley, I think, on their channel for 2-3 hours. We had just such a good time. And honestly, like, so great.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, you have done so much in a short amount of time. And like, I cannot wait to see all of the good that you do. And I'm so, first of all, we were both OGs on Sidequest. Heck yes. And so I think like Sidequest is coming on almost a year anniversary, right? Has it been almost a year? I think it's like 10 months. We're nearing it.
I think so.
I think we're nearing it. So we're getting close, but it's really so nice to see all the good that you have done. And I think a year in October. Yeah, I cannot believe we're coming up on a year.
I think it is irrelevant. A year in October. Yeah, I don't.
It's just there is absolutely like no time just is beyond me at this point. But
oh yeah.
Honestly, Faye, it was so nice having you on today. I enjoyed getting to know you, and I feel like you brought up a lot of really important topics for people. The fact that people can use gaming as a resource and a way to escape realities that may be harsh or difficult or painful, a way to connect with others who are like-minded. You've now stemmed from that, creating a community that also is wholesome and inclusive and is charity-oriented. So honestly, it is amazing. And I am so honored. Faye, is there anything else you want to share with us tonight? You are pooping amazing.
Thank you very much. I found the date, by the way. It was September 9th, 2020.
September 9th.
When the first. Yep.
That's our year anniversary. Wow,
fun
that's
fact,
amazing.
I never liked the original tweet. I'm gonna go close out of the fact that I just liked that for the first time.
Oh my gosh. Sidequest is gonna be like, whoa, who's stalking us?
No, the only thing, like, so when my going live announcement is a tweet that I found from a really long time ago that I wish I could quote the source, but effectively it is just what I do in my streaming and what I try to do in my writing. It is that I try to put out into the world effectively is, you know, be who you needed to see when you were younger. Be that person now that you needed when you were younger, who you needed to look up to. The only person that should put pressure on you is yourself, because you should be the person that you would have idolized. It doesn't matter any other way. It is not up to anybody to put you on a pedestal. You are the only one who needs to answer to you. And that is, like, be who you needed to see when you were younger is my going live message every single time for over a year and a half.
I feel like that was a mic drop. that was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us at the Poop Coven. And I'm so honored that you took the time to talk with us and we got to know you better and share all the good that you're doing. That was a whole podium drop.
Just gonna flip my desk as I walk out.
Flip the whole desk and just like take your beautiful computer.
Are we flipping the stream over as your community likes to do?
Yes, yeah, the chaos will about to ensue. But I want to say thank you again, Faevyn, for coming on the Coven Conversations. This was episode I think 16, which is like amazing.
Wow,
I know. Look at us go.
We planned this when you first started.
I know. We're actually right now booked until October. No big deal.
That's phenomenal.
No big deal. But it's been so amazing, and I love getting to know my Sidequest teammates better. I love getting to know. Honestly, Faye is also another New Yorker, so like we didn't even get to talk about that. But we'll save that.
We didn't really. But
we didn't really.
If anybody's curious, New York bagels are the best bagels, and I won't hear anything otherwise.
There is only one bagel in the world, and that's New York bagels. Period.
Absolutely.
We flip the table. I will flip my house upside down if anyone comes from New York bagels. Best bagels in the world. But
yep.
I am PoopWitchX, and this was Faevyn, and you can find us both at Twitch. And thank you so much, Faevyn, for joining us for Coven Conversations tonight. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.